Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. We've got a double dose of Rangers transfer news to talk about. Two potential returns. Yes, heard that correctly, folks. Two potential returns. Is it the Calvin Bassies of this world, the Malik Tillmans? No, it's certainly not. And you know what? Let's talk about the one that's going to cause the most controversy. So let's start with John Lundstram. Now, I'll be real. I don't really believe this link. I just don't really understand it, to be honest. Why would we go back for John Lundstram? To me, the other guy makes a lot more sense than Lundstram, right? John Lundstram, obviously, a few years at Rangers, left to go to Trabzonspor after his contract expired. Yeah, some epic moments. Dortmund, Leipzig, just to name a few. But then, of course, there was a few bogging ones. I mean, I'll never forget his own goal against Celtic. I'll never forget that time he made the run against St Johnstone and just gave up, man. I don't know if he gave up or his legs gave up, but something gave up. And then they obviously went up and scored. So you're sitting there thinking, Big John. But I think the 49ers so far, folks, have done a really good piece of business. And I think not too many people can pick holes in their business so far, but I do firmly believe that if we brought back John Lundstram, this is the one where everyone, well, I think the vast majority are going to be like, what are you doing, 49ers? So I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. It was near bloody joke there. 95, I'd say I'm about 95% sure that it's not going to happen. I mean, just think of it, right? 31-year-old John Lundstram turned 31 in February, right? So that means by the time it ends the season, he will be 32. He's a year older from when he left us, which in my eyes is a year worse. I don't think, maybe he's got a bit of a tan playing in Turkey. Hell, maybe he's got some new teeth. Maybe he's got a new hairline. I'm not really too sure what Big John has got for him over in Turkey, but it's just it's a backward step, man. And I think the key thing is Lundstram came in the year we won the league. Well, he came in after we won the league, but you know, it was the same year, 2021. Then, of course, had the great Europa League campaign. Can't really fault him in that. Games he played centre back, games he scored crucial goals. He was phenomenal, he really was. He would, you know, it's just a difference of a penalty, and John Lundstram's getting spoken about very differently. And you know, he had purple patches throughout his Rangers career, where he was like easily one of the best teams, one of the best players on the team sheet. But he's also one of those guys that's helped over like the last 3 to 4 years drag this team down and contribute towards that. You know, the likes of him, Barisic, Tav, Goldson. I could name a few more from that similar era, and I just don't see why it's going to happen. Now, on the flip side, let's talk about Josh Windass. He left Rangers quite a long time ago, but when he left Rangers, we were nowhere near the heights of the next few years after him, where we were actually beginning to rebuild, get good in Europe, and challenging for leagues and winning leagues. Well, obviously it was league, hopefully it will be leagues, but I think it would be unfair on Windass to be turning and saying, oh, he's pish and he's that. Josh Windass was one of the best players on a pish team, and I think there was a lot of players like that back then, like James Tavernier, Windass, probably a few others, you know. I mean, obviously the majority of those teams were guys that were either young and shite or old and shite, and then you had a few other people scattered throughout that were alright. But I think at the two, I'd rather Josh Windass. He's younger, he got what, 18 goal contributions last season. I think it would cost less, and I think I think he'd be more hungry than Lundstram. I think he'd just offer more. But if I'm being honest, I don't really want any of them. But if it's a choice between the two, I'm picking Josh Windass every day of the week. You know, we need a winger. He can offer that. John Lundstram would be coming back to a position that I think he is just no longer needed, folks. He was no longer needed a year ago. You can't tell me that John Lundstram at 31 is better than Diamonde, Raskin, Bailey Rice, Connor Barron, and I mean the plenty more. Big Joe Big Joe. Absolutely not. It's a squirrel just runs in front of me there. So John Lundstram's an absolute no-go for me. His position is locked in. There's hundreds of players that can play there. Windass, though, on the other hand, he can play a variety of positions, and they're the positions that we need. We need wingers. You know, we heard after the signing last week, I think it was at Asgard, or we're looking to bring in at least 3 more wingers. That's what's needed. Not a centre mid. So I think the John Lundstram return is pretty much bullshit. I would go as far as saying that. But I think Josh Windass, there could be a bit more truth in that. We're doing a bit of business with Sheffield Wednesday as well, for one of their star players. Sorry guys, been at the loop the last couple of days. I haven't really been looking at the news. Can't remember his name, but someone did say in the stream last night, and it looks like we're going to get him for $2.5 million. It's because of Sheffield Wednesday's financial situation, and that's another reason why we'll probably be able to get Windass on the cheap as well, because of their financial situation. So that'll be a smart piece of business to bring in the 2 of them. Well, the 2.5 million guy, but Windass knows the club, but I can understand why people don't want him. I think it would be, out the 2, yes, and I think it would be relatively smart business to bring Windass back, but I think there is better people out there than Josh Windass. But I think he'd be hungry to be a part of, you know, get it right the second time around, because he was definitely one of the few people that were actually good the first time around, in terms of like that team, that era, you know, the mid 2010s, which were quite tragic in some places. And then yeah, he left. I think he left the summer Gerrard came in, didn't he? So yeah, not good from a Josh Windass perspective. But like I say, better than John Lundstram. John Lundstram's an absolute no-go for me. It just makes zero sense, because it's the one position of the team now that's sorted, in my opinion, that doesn't really need. You can always do better and add a bit of strength if someone becomes available, but John Lundstram's not it. You know, if Luka Modric, you know, if Rodri from Man City was to come available, then aye. But you know what I mean? It's never going to happen. So John Lundstram, no, he's no longer required, John. I apologise, son. Go on, Jake. It's no happening. Absolutely no happening, Big John. So yeah, that's the Rangers transfer roundup, I guess. Well, I say the Rangers transfer roundup. It's just a Rangers talk, I guess, because the transfer roundup will be later on the night when we wrap everybody up like Dexter in plastic. Oh yeah.